Fiancée Jessica looked me dead in the eye and said, "I invited my ex to the wedding. If you loved me, you'd understand." I replied, "I do understand." Then I calmly, quietly, contacted his wife and invited her as my +1. The rehearsal dinner became legendary, but not for the reason Jessica planned. I was 32, a decent guy, and honestly, love made me stupid. 8 months engaged to Jessica, 3 years together, $18,000 in non-refundable deposits for a massive 150-person wedding next month. Everything was perfect, until last Thursday. We were having dinner, talking seating charts, and she just drops it. So, I invited Trevor to the wedding. I nearly choked on my pasta. Trevor. Her ex-college boyfriend, the guy she almost married. "You invited your ex to our wedding?" Her smile, it was this unnerving, placid thing. Like this was totally normal. "Yeah, we're still friends, Drew. It would be weird not to invite him." I pushed back. "Jess, that's unusual. Your ex watching you marry me?" That's when her face hardened and she deployed the emotional nuke. "If you loved me, you'd understand." I backed down, but something in my gut was screaming. She then added, "Trevor's happily married. His wife Rebecca couldn't make it, she's overseas, but he'll be there." I smiled, played the supportive fiancé, but the detail about his wife felt rehearsed, too quick. "What's his wife's name again?" I asked casually. She blinked. Rebecca. Why does it matter?" It mattered because the first rule of betrayal is that the lie is always sloppy. That night I dug. Found Trevor on social media. His wife's name was Monica, not Rebecca. And according to her profile, she was not overseas. She was a dental hygienist working 20 minutes from our venue. That's when I stopped being the clueless fiancé and started being the strategist. Over the weekend, the pieces snapped into place. She left her iPad at my place, still logged into messages. Yes, I violated her privacy. But when your fiancé lies about the spouse of the ex she invited to your wedding, you investigate. The messages were friendly. Too friendly. Lots of "remember when," and then this line from Trevor, "shame it didn't work out between us." And her reply, "Timing is everything." I realized my wedding wasn't a celebration. It was a contingency plan. Monday morning, I made a decision that would change the course of my life and theirs forever. I knew I couldn't just cancel. I needed to expose the truth publicly. But how? I found Monica, Trevor's real wife, on social media and sent her a message from my real account. "Hi, Monica. I'm marrying Jessica next month. She invited Trevor, but told me you couldn't attend because you're overseas. I saw you're local. I wanted to extend a personal invitation. I'd love to have you as my guest." I got a response within an hour. "Overseas? That's interesting since I'm sitting in my office right now. Trevor told me he had a work conference. Thank you for reaching out. I'll definitely be attending." I knew then. I had found my unexpected ally. Jessica, completely oblivious, kept talking about the wedding. Monica and I hatched the plan. Maximum impact, minimal scene at the actual wedding. We'd do it at the rehearsal dinner. 3 days before the dinner, I told Jessica I had to pick up a friend with car trouble. She was annoyed, but I insisted. They were stranded. I wasn't picking up a friend. I was picking up my guest of honor. When I picked up Monica, she was a force of nature. Elegant black dress, perfect makeup, eyes on a mission. "You ready for this?" I asked. She just smiled. 3 years of marriage and he's sneaking around with his ex. "Oh, I'm ready." We walked in 40 minutes late. The private dining room held 30 people, both our families, the wedding party, and sitting right next to Jessica at the main table was Trevor. Tss. Jessica stood, smiling. Then she saw Monica behind me. The room went silent. Trevor's face went ghost white. He looked like a deer hit by a freight train. "Hi, honey." Surprise, my trip got canceled. Jessica's mouth opened and closed. "Monica, I thought you were overseas." Monica stepped forward, her voice ice. "Yeah, that's what Trevor told me about his work conference this weekend too." Imagine my surprise when Drew reached out to personally invite me. I stepped forward to address the room. "Everyone, this is Monica, Trevor's wife. She'll be joining us tonight as my guest, since Jessica was so insistent on including Trevor in our wedding celebrations." My mom, bless her heart, instantly understood. She rose, walked over, and led Monica to a seat directly across from Trevor and Jessica. The tension was incredible. Jessica, voice shaky, tried to act normal. "So, Monica, how long have you and Trevor been married?" 3 years, she said, sipping her wine. Though apparently I should ask you how long you've been texting my husband. Trevor looked like he wanted to disappear into the carpet. Jessica insisted, "We're just friends." She pulled out her phone. Friends don't text at midnight. Friends don't send shirtless gym selfies. Should I read some of these out loud? Trevor finally broke. "Monica, please, not here." Monica laughed, a bitter, sharp sound. "Not here? Where then? At your fake work conference? Or maybe during one of your client dinners that Jessica always seemed to know about?" Jessica turned to me, tears finally forming. "Drew, this is a misunderstanding." "Is it though?" I asked calmly. "Is that why you lied about his wife's name? Why you put Trevor at table 3? You set me up." Her father stood up, face turning purple. "What the hell is going on here?" Monica gave the final blow. "Your daughter's been having an emotional affair with my husband? She invited him to her wedding while making sure I wouldn't be here." Trevor slunk out. Jessica went into full, entitled rage. "How dare you humiliate me like this? You invited your ex to our wedding, Jess. You ruined your own life. I just refused to be collateral damage." Her dad finally got the full truth out of her. "Yes, Trevor and I have been talking. He was the one who got away. I needed to see if I was making the right choice." "Well," I said, pulling an envelope from my jacket pocket. "That makes this easier." I tossed a detailed, itemized invoice on the table. "Consider this my wedding gift." It was the invoice for all the deposits I'd paid. The catering, the venue, the band. $18,000 total. All non-refundable. All in my name. "The wedding is off. Your family can reimburse me, or you can use all these expensive packages for your next wedding, maybe to Trevor after his divorce." Jessica started the ugly cry. Monica stood up one last time. "Speaking of receipts, Trevor, expect to hear from my divorce attorney Monday. I'll be taking half of everything, including your precious boat." She looked at Jessica. "You can have him when I'm done. Good luck with a cheater who lives with his mother." The flying monkeys came out in force, her friends, her mother, all pleading. "The wedding is in 3 weeks. She made a mistake. Think of the guests." My answer was the same. She invited the man she was cheating with to our wedding and lied about his wife. Would you marry someone who did that? They all stopped responding. Jessica's dad called 2 weeks later. They reimbursed me all $18,000. They just wanted the embarrassment to end. But the final twist came from Monica. Trevor had a second phone hidden in his car. On it, a draft email where he was planning to object at our wedding. He was going to stand up at the altar, in front of 150 people, and challenge the officiant. I had dodged a nuclear bomb. Monica sent me the screenshot of their exchange. "Trevor, if you give me the signal during the ceremony, I'll stand up. We can run away together." I sent the message to her father. His 2-word response? "Jesus Christ." So, where are we now? I took the $18,000 and spent 2 months in Europe. I met Anna at a cooking class in Italy. She laughed until she cried when I told her this story. Jessica is living with her parents, posting cryptic quotes about narcissistic abuse that get 0 likes. Trevor lost his house and his boat and is living with his mother. Monica? She's thriving. Got promoted, dating a doctor, and we all had brunch last month. Trevor drove by the restaurant and Monica waved at him with her new engagement ring. The manager of that rehearsal dinner venue still has a photo of that night on his security office wall, labeled "The Dinner from Hell." They use it for training. They don't regret the public confrontation. Jessica created that situation. I just made sure all the players were present. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And when they invite their ex to your wedding, invite their spouse. The truth has a funny way of coming out at dinner parties.